For the past few months, we have taken out this 1 hour, this singular hour, to discuss what the economy is doing at this point in time. Obviously, in hindsight, we discuss with our panelists as to what is going on in the economy right now. Obviously, COVID 19 is a situation that has perplexed as well as galvanized certain aspects of the economy. Uh, the stimulus package came out. There were some people who were happy. It blew hot and cold. But what is the situation right now? Has it really helped the MSMEs for which it was designed? Has it relegated a few businesses? From our discussions, we have also reached conclusions that some industries will see damage which is perhaps going to be permanent. So, what does it mean for the industry as well as the Indian economy? We discussed this with some of the brightest and, in fact, the smartest business minds on the panel. And let me introduce our panelists one by one. Mr. Kamal Singh, Executive Director of the UN Global Compact Network India, also joins us. Mr. Amit Sharma, founder of medical tourism company E-Expedites Healthcare, is also on the program. Mr. Nitesh Jain, founder of BeSingular.com, is also with us. Mr. Shashank Singh, founder and CEO of Flix, is also with us on the broadcast. Mr. Sunil Kumar Madikatla, co-founder and CEO of Blue Semi, also joins us on the program. Ms. Sonali Ramaiya, founder and director of Roar Media and Public Relations, is also with us. And last but by no means the least, Dr. Anurag Batra, chairman and editor-in-chief of Business World and Exchange for Media Group. My co-anchor for the next 1 hour is also joining us on the program. Welcome, everyone. And in fact, Mr. Singh, let me start by asking you a very simple question. You know, they say that when you talk about the economy, it does not mean that you are being economical when you're sparing money. It means that you're spending it wisely. According to you, has the government done so in this time of crisis?
Yes, absolutely. I think the packages and reliefs announced by the government have been exceptional. The implementation has been streamlined such as that the stimulus is reaching the right recipient. We are a democracy and that too with a huge population, and people have a right to express their opinions and feedback freely. However, in the face of such an unprecedented calamity, India has done it very well to keep the business going. No doubt the challenge is far bigger and not over it, as I would like to say. The intensity and the consistency with which the various steps have been taken by the government to sustain the economy are nothing but commendable. And if you look at all the policies, if you look at the stimulus given by the government, whether it is business including MSME, the announcement of May 13, or poor including migrant and farmers announcement of May 14, or agriculture announcement for May 15, New Horizons of Growth May 16, government reforms and enablers May 17, all these leading towards rebooting the economy. And how do we make sure the people who are able to contribute towards strengthening the financial base, that will really, I believe, that will help us. And following COVID-19 pandemic, the implementation measures are targeted to reduce operational cost of businesses, measures to incentivize domestic consumption, and measures to support investment. Even small and medium enterprises that you would have noticed, there is a stimulus, and it is going to be one more stimulus to see how they are able to not only taken care of in terms of their hardship, but at the same time they are motivated to encourage more businesses and more to efforts to boost the economy. Especially, you know, the large chunk of economy comes from medium and small enterprises, so they have to be also addressed appropriately, and I believe that it will work.
Hmm.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much. Let me also ask Nitesh. For the first time, entrepreneurs had to look at their costs. They had to look at their revenues being more than their costs. They had to rewire how they look at every driver of business. Tell us, what is the change in your mindset that has happened over the last 5 months? And how do you rate the economic stimulus, both in the idea form and in the implementation?
So, from my study, and what we've been seeing in the sector, and from all the stimulus which has been given, there have been pluses and minuses. I mean, not everything which was planned has been implemented, and across board, when I meet and talk to a lot of people, they find that the announcements were great, but not as effective on the ground as it should be. And personally speaking, from our own experience, there has been a tremendous inward looking activity which has happened, because not all stimulus packages ever reached, and therefore we had to go for tremendous cost cutting across board, and that would mean looking at every single aspect of our PNL and trying to figure out what we can do better. And I would be, I was surprised when I found that when the crisis was there, how the teams actually worked, and not only in our organization but across. And we were able to find really good measures which we could take that helped us to cut costs. So that was the only way we could survive. But as far as the stimulus is concerned, we really have to see them work. Banking system has to support MSME as RBI or the government intends to do, which is still far away.
Okay. Amit, you're in the medical tourism space. Tourism itself is gone to a halt. It is slowly coming back, but a long way to go. How were the last 5 months, and what are your lessons as an entrepreneur?
Thank you. I think the most affected industry is the medical tourism industry, and as you rightly said, that tourism is the one which has been impacted badly. And another 2, 3, 4 months, I don't think it's an easy future for us. The entire pandemic has given an opportunity to rethink on how do we perform in future. What are the things that we need to actually look at as an industry. So while we were, in terms of revenue wise, we were zero revenue, expenses still remains the same. There was announcement by the government. We were very hopeful that there will be some initiative for the 2.5 billion in the industry. About 1.8 million people who travel every year to India for a medical travel. So we were very hopeful from the government that there will be some initiatives, some packages for us, but we were a little disappointed with that. However, having said that, when we heard our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, now talking about health tourism in his address to the nation on June 15th, we were very hopeful. We were very confident that the government is now looking at each industry. So initially, the entire industry was at a back, saying that the government is ignoring the industry. But with this initiative from the Prime Minister, we were very hopeful. Though the packages which was announced to MSME, we have not yet received. But we are very positive. Once there is an open up market, there will be a lot of positive for us.
All right, Sonali, what's your initial response to what's going on in the country right now? The last time around, we spoke to a couple of people who were from the restaurant industry, and they made some statements which were very startling in nature. One of them said that, there could be a few restaurant chains that may never return. They are gone for eternity. Such was the impact of this crisis. Do you think that such a similar impact has also affected other industries and other verticals in India? And if so, will the government get to them sooner than later? Like Amit said, that the Prime Minister did discuss medical tourism, but there are a lot of industries which feel neglected, relegated, and ignored at this point in time.
So, when talking about the restaurant industry first, we see that it has been hit. Okay, but now going forward, once everything opens up, I think two factors will be very important, and so will they be for industries which are similar, wherein the touch and feel is concerned, where people experience things like, travel industry, like the restaurant industry, like a place where you experience something. So I think one important factor will be to, from the from the visibility perspective, brands will have to come again in the new and create a demand again, because restauranting, going to a restaurant used to be a habit. It was a part of our lifestyle, and now in 5 months we have all succumbed to cooking at home and stuff. Similarly, other industries as well, people have been compromising. So, to get people to come back to restaurants or go back to traveling, two things are very important. One is the brand needs to, in fact, the entire industry needs to come up and say that, we are safe to travel, we are safe to dine in the restaurant, we are safe for giving our services to you. So is I think similar industries where products are also concerned. For example, if you take retail, wherein you're shopping physically, everything will run around the safety factor. And yes, the government support will be needed in terms of encouraging these industries to come up with their innovative strategies.
Okay. Shank, let's talk about what your whole perception has been during this unprecedented, this surreal phase which the Indian economy, in fact, the world economy is going through. Sonali spoke of restaurants being open to business again, and there were places where people used to look forward to go to, but now it's perhaps the other way around, because everybody is panicked that that perhaps is going to be an epicenter of the COVID-19 disease. Shashank, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, like there are industries which are impacted a lot by this COVID stuff, and in future, like things will get back to normal. It will take some time, but it will get back to normal. Yes, as said by my last speaker, that the government and the industry needs to come out and support everyone, that we can come out and safer put some measures. Government should actually come out, especially in the restaurant industry, they should come out with this is the standard measure, this is what we need to do, and once you follow these guidelines, then things would be fine. So the government needs to come out with all those standards in different sectors, like it's restaurant, it's retail, it could be any other medical stuff and everything, and that standardization has to happen. The government needs to take a lead on that and say, okay, if we follow these measures, then it's fine. We need to open up the economy a little bit more than what we are doing right now, because we cannot sustain like this. So everyone knows that, and especially in India, when the GDP is actually going down, then government needs to come out, create those measures, and put the confidence back on the people actually.
Okay, Sunil, give us your opening comments on how the economic stimulus has been, and where do you see the business and economy headed?
So, thank you, Anurag. So, actually, I have a neutral opinion on the economic stimulus that has been announced by the central government. I'm not saying it's released on purpose. So, because here the economy stimulus as a whole looks a pretty good number, but has it been distributed with judgment, or has it been distributed with equality, or whether has it been distributed at all, is a question that needs to be seriously considered. A lot of MSMEs that we've been working with in India have still been facing issues. They still have the revenues slowed down. I cannot say it has been completely stopped, but there's a middle ground that it took, where things have been slowed down completely. A client that is supposed to pay this month has postponed it indefinitely, and people don't know when that is going to come back into their bank account. That's a serious concern everyone needs to really be worried of. Apart from that, I'd also like to add the government's addition to the economy through this stimulus. Has it been done on logical and mathematical grounds, or has it been done on just the economical grounds? That is another point that needs to be considered seriously. So there has been a good amount that's been announced, but it is only relevant and wise to have a take when it is properly distributed, and MSMEs and startups have been actually benefited by that. So that organizational announcement, in my opinion, hasn't happened.
Okay. Let me say to you, in our show, we've been doing this show for almost 3 months. There have been maybe 5 entrepreneurs who actually said that they have got the benefit of the package that has been announced by the government, but there have been less than 10, that I can tell you. So to say that it hasn't benefited anyone is not factually right. But yes, maybe the expectation was of more. But I keep saying it to Vineet and everyone in Newsx that possibly what we saw earlier was installment 1, there will be installment 2, and there will be installment 3. And the government will spend a lot to bring back the demand, because the government spending on infrastructure can have a multiplier impact. So I think over the next few months, we will see government doing more. I think we should see it as there were 2 parts to it. There was a stimulus and there was a reform. You'll see both parts being activated again. That's my view, but let's see what the future holds for us. I want to ask Nitesh. Nitesh, the biggest issue is liquidity. The biggest issue is demand. When do you see liquidity and demand coming back? Of course, Diwali and IPL are around the corner. They're about 2.5 months away. That will see some activation of the economy. But do you see that activation will continue thereafter Diwali, or we'll see a dip again?
It's a very difficult question. What I personally feel is that the momentum post-COVID and after the lockdown started opening up has picked up, no doubt about it. The demand is back, but of course not to that level. It will take time. The only question is, it should not be a pent-up demand. That's the only worry entrepreneurs have right now. If that is the case, then we might have a dip. But I am absolutely clear that within 12 to 15 months or 18 months, we will rock again as an economy. There's no question about that. The actions which government has taken in terms of the reduction in interest cost, or even in the taxes, they will bring the economy back on track. But yes, the liquidity crisis will be there for next 6 to 8 months. That will be there because suddenly a big thing happened, and it will take time for people to actually get money in their hands. That is something that time we have to consider. But 12, 15, 18 months, absolutely.
Sonali, a lot of your clients may have gone on pause. Your revenues may have been impacted, though communication and public relations and branding has taken a bigger role in 5 months than pre-branding. But tell us, what are your customers saying to you? What are your clients saying to you? What is the kind of mindset you're encountering when you're talking to entrepreneurs? Sonali?
So, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
So when the pandemic struck, and it was like a sudden lockdown that went throughout the country, we witnessed a sudden jolt. See, there are different factors. One is people wanted to hold liquidity. Second is brands wanted to not sound insensitive. That seeing the kind of situation that is going on, and they would not want to market themselves at that time. So that went on until say May or mid-June. June onwards, like mid-June onwards, things started opening up a little. So one thing, I mean, if I can say that it has taken a jolt, I would also say that yes, people have started realizing the need to come back into the game, and start marketing themselves. So now I'm seeing that transition since the past 2.5 months. But yes, on the cash flow and the liquidity front, there is a lot of, I would say, restriction, or people are a little cautious to spend. But Anurag, one very good opportunity that I could see here during this whole, the past 3 to 4 months, is there is a rise in digital PR. So, because everybody is digitally active. So, we could see a lot of demand in that sector. Everybody wants to go digital. Either they get hands-on with the skills or they want to hire agencies like ours.
Anurag, the courts also very recently observed that the government has to do more because the lockdown was imposed by them. Hence, the responsibility of the government is also hitherto. How do you respond to that? And what do you think that the government is going to do now? There also are talks of a follow-up stimulus package, Anurag, which is being worked upon.
Absolutely. You see, the government has to, first of all, it's a healthcare issue. The government has to look at it as a healthcare issue, which it is looking at. So first, it needs to address that. If you look at UP today on 26th August, when we are talking, there is a fear of a second phase of corona growing in a big way. You can look at big cities like Kanpur, Lucknow. So first of all, the government needs to focus all its energies on that. And dare I say, I've said this before, Vineet, when we've been on the show together, that it has been a patchwork pandemic. Each state has worked it because the timing of peaking has been different. The state's response has been different. Though by and far all states have done well, it's very easy to criticize the chief minister or the state or the government. But by and large, they've done well. Can we have done better? Maybe marginally. Right now, the government needs to focus on taking away the fear element. Right now, there is a fear of going to the office. Right now, there is a fear of going to a hotel. Right now, there is a fear of going to a mall. I think that needs to be addressed. If the government addresses that, the economic stimulus may or may not be needed. But having said that, to be able to deal with the loss of life 5-6 months, for example, I found it absurd that there is a moratorium on on payments, but the interest accrues. Ideally, that interest should be lowered or it should be zero. That's when it's a relief. Otherwise, it's a mounting amount. So it is actually, rather than being helpful, it is counterproductive. So the government has to look at some other ways of mitigating the loss that a lot of individuals, professionals, and entrepreneurs had. So in that sense, the second package is desirable, should come much before Diwali, because then it can have an impact on the whole demand cycle.
Okay, Nitesh, if there is a second stimulus package in the works, as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, what kind of expectations would you have from it?
I would say the education sector needs a lot of focus. If you see any stimulus packages anywhere, nothing was done. Look at how badly it has impacted the whole year of millions of students around. I mean, if the government would have done little bit from a sense that, for just buying a basic infra like a laptop or a smartphone, you go and get money from the bank and don't pay any interest, we would have done humongous, job in skilling and educating the youth. I would certainly expect, at least from an edtech sector point of view or education sector point of view, we need something over there, because a lot of schools are suffering. They don't have infrastructure. They cannot teach online. And I don't see schools opening very soon. And that is going to spoil the entire year of millions of students. So that is my expectation, at least from the sector which I come from.
Okay. All right. Sunil, what would you say that, the government's primary challenge is going to be when, COVID-19 settles down? The vaccine is in works. There is a process of inoculating the entire country, which is under process, but yet economy-wise, the government will have to do a lot more. Like Anurag also said, that it's a healthcare crisis. The primary focus is on that, and you can even give them brownie points or the benefit of the doubts that, all right, first focus on the problem and then get to the other problems. But once this settles down, what is going to be the government's primary challenge?
So as Anurag has rightly mentioned as well, it's about safety for the economy, the confidence boost that government has to assure for the industry, so that they can be able to run their business safely. The similar way, apart from just the assuring the packages, the government also needs to take certain measures, as Mr. Nitesh has rightly mentioned. They need to have certain focus on certain sectors of the industry, because during the pandemic itself, I see this pandemic as a learning phase where both the industry and government can learn what needs to be within India, what needs to be focused within India and what needs to be highly prioritized. The healthcare is a very primary concern that could have killed the entire economy, which already did. It's like a though the RBI governor has announced it is going to be a V-shaped curve for the economy, but a lot of economists have been predicting it to be a U-shaped economy, which is going to kick off after 6 months or so. So during this phase, government needs to really back up these certain industries to be able to provide that confidence to their customers and to themselves as well.
Okay. Mr. Singh, what according to you will be the government's greatest challenge once things start to normalize? Obviously, as a nation, we have done what best we could do in terms of giving help to the industry, which is predominantly the MSME industry, which employs up to 10 to 12 crore individuals, as much as the government can. But obviously, when the pandemic is over and the unemployment figures are out, the government will be worried.
So to me, demand will be the key imperative for government to generate demands, which is now temporarily suspended because of COVID-19. And but the good news is that it has started picking up. The markets are open. The safety is bound to increase, and DBT is enabling the poorest of the poor to opportunities. Other steps, including tax reform. I think tax reforms will be one imperative the government can really move forward. Interest rate reforms could be another step that government can move forward. And PF in the hands of people for a shorter period are all measures to improve liquidity. So to my mind, these will certainly add up to the efforts to bring back economy back to normalcy.
Anurag?
One of the questions really that always comes to mind when I'm listening to everyone on the panel is, what's the impact this healthcare crisis and this economic crisis had on each one of them, and how have they responded? So Dr. Kamal Singh, sustainability, looking after the environment, interconnectedness, we know that if people in Dharavi get impacted, it can engulf the whole Mumbai. So we need to, now going forward when things are normal, we need to possibly create better accommodation for people who live in Dharavi, and not for the last 25, I've been hearing about how Dharavi will be revamped, how the conditions will be improved. So tell us, has sustainability come to the fore? Has everyone started thinking of sustainability in a holistic manner? Do you see COVID accelerating we achieving our SDG goals? Is it something that you see getting aided by COVID, or do you see COVID hampering it?
No, COVID has definitely given opportunity to realize the SDGs are the differentiator going forward for doing business responsibly and aligning business goals with SDG is the only way. I mean, to my mind, this pandemic which we are debating here would have not taken if we would have followed the UNGC principles of doing business. And so somewhere in some part of the world, not disclosing the issues transparently and not even following the principles that we are champion, this has caused so much havoc not only in our country but across the globe. Even we are talking about the planet back into health and growth. This is where all this will add up to making the normalcy. And global collaborations and partnership are the critical means to unite business to on challenges of economic revival and their own way. Even the new education policy is totally aligned with the quality education goal number 4. And you will see many policies that government will announce. They will also look at what are the global goals, what is the India commitment of 2030 that we need to achieve. And if that is achievable, whether it is through Ayush or whether it is the health, whether it is another policy framework, the efforts will be to align with the global goals.
Okay, Sunil, let me come to you.
And going forward for every business, so be smaller, every stakeholder, all with the key answers.
Okay, Dr. Singh, thank you for those input. Sunil, tell me, how has this business impacted your business, and how have you pivoted to make hay when the sun is not shining?
Thanks for that question, Mr. Anurag. This has slowed down our existing product line a little bit because the clients literally took a safe mode to have more liquid in cash with them, and they also want to make sure they don't want to invest more on their product lines for the next 6 months because everyone was unaware of what's going to happen tomorrow. So at the time, being a growth phase company and being a deep tech company, we had that each to use our existing technology for good for the COVID situation. Right now, we've been talking about the back to safety. So in the past 2-3 months, we were able to release a world-class product that has received international attention for back to safety and back to normal program, where we are guarding the doors of the corporates, restaurants, and all other public places with our devices, so that people can feel safe once they enter into those buildings. So we are trying to boost that confidence and safety from the industry angle as well, apart from just relying on government to take certain measures, right? So it is pretty much required for companies as well to see if they can pivot to address the need of the hour problems that the world is facing. Here, we are not just talking about a single city or a state that is facing the issue. Here, we are talking of a pandemic that has hit the entire globe. So, if we are able to pivot quickly and if we are able to pivot accurately, this is another business scenario that needs to be actually followed. So, we did the same thing at BlueSyn.
Shashank, the same question to you. I know this is the second time on the show. How has your business done during the lockdowns, and what is the pivot you made in your business? How have you reimagined your business?
Luckily, what we are actually focusing on is actually we are creating a social network on top of the streaming world. And fortunately, I would say, as you were saying, like make the hay when sun is not shining. So what everyone is doing right now is everyone is watching TV actually, and they are all looking for kind of recommendations like what they should watch and where they can watch with all so many streaming options out there. So luckily, we are on that kind of platform we are building where you can know what to watch, you can talk with your friends and family and see what they are watching. And I've been observing on social media that like most of the people are actually talking about, have you watched this show? Have you look at those stuff? So that's what we were working on, and we had to prepone our launch. Actually, as the pandemic started, most people who were actually testing in our beta phase, they asked us like, can you release this now because we need this and we need to send it across to our friends and family, and that's what happened actually. And we saw a decent amount of active users using the app right now. But I would also like to highlight one more thing on this is like I'm very close to the OTT market, and I've seen the US market and India market like how they are actually shaping up, especially on the OTT side. Like in the last 5 years in US, $650 billion has been spent on creating content, and it's going to increase more and more. And globally, you can see like how it's shaping up in India. India is the hottest streaming war right now. Like all the US like Netflix, Amazon is already in India, and then you have local players there. So there are like 40 plus providers in India, and they're all fighting for the turf. And one good thing about this whole situation is like I've seen Indian content actually taking over a lot of global traffic, and a lot of Indian content is actually taking over. And this gives an opportunity for us like to realize that Indian entertainment can actually be as good as Hollywood or even surpass that. And when this is a good opportunity where people are locked up, they're watching TV, like India can actually expand and become the global powerhouse, especially on the entertainment side.
Okay. Sonali, while you shared that you're doing well, tell us, Are you seeing entrepreneurs taking risk in this and trying to see opportunities in the problem, or you have seen that they've become more risk averse and they're conserving cash and they're kind of searching internally for a new business model? They're asking themselves tough questions. Why am I in this business? Where will be I in 1 year? Where will we be in 5 years? What is the kind of sense you get from talking to your clients?
So, if I go back to when the pandemic struck, there were a set of clients who said, okay, we would want to restrict our PR right now. We would not want to communicate. On the other hand, I came across a lot of entrepreneurs who saw this as a golden opportunity, especially in the manufacturing sector, wherein COVID safety gear was something that people started manufacturing, which was highly something that we would import from China. So I had some clients who actually came up with innovation in terms of thermal scanners, in terms of UV light sanitizers, and different products. So I think these are the ones who actually have taken the step towards innovation. Then I could see that the market was very much favorable for the e-commerce segment to grow. So companies into the e-commerce sector have been totally like vocal about going all out in PR. On the other hand, there are industries where, I would just say, someone related to the theater industry, the cinema industry.
Of course,
There
cinemas are not
and
coming back in a hurry. At least the next 30, 60 days, the cinema halls may not open. So that clearly, those kind of industries have taken a hit. Amit Sharma, now you come from healthcare, where the normal healthcare, as you said, is not being looked at because, the hospitals became COVID hospitals. The frontline workers are in healthcare are overloaded. Also, there is a fear of going to the doctor or to the hospital that you may cause. So the tourism went down, healthcare went down. So what have you done to survive, Amit Sharma? And what are you doing to prepare if there is a second wave, third wave? Have you innovated? Have you pivoted? Have you found a new product, service? Have you found a new business model? What have you done apart from praying and hoping COVID goes away, that your business survives and thrives? You'll have to unmute yourself, Amit.
Yes, Anurag, this is very interesting question and very important question for all our industry colleagues. When there is a pandemic, when there is a problem, there is a solution to it. I've been hearing this whole my life, but I actually realized during this pandemic era. So when we all we're talking about medical tourism, competition being there, our survival. At the same time, there has been a lot of initiatives, lot of demand on the other side of our business, which is medical and wellness. When I talk about wellness, I'm referring to our Ayurveda part. So during this period, this Ayurveda has emerged as the second trend.
Alternative.
Yes. And there has been a huge demand for Ayurveda, not only limiting to Ayurveda treatment, but Ayurveda medicines. So the way I was saying it, there has been an opportunity. And a majority of medical tourism companies has realized this, which we have not realized initially, and we were only concentrating on the medical surgeries part. Now, slowly, all the medical tourism companies, we want to have an ecosystem whereby we offer holistic services to them. So once the lockdown is over, the air ban is lifted, we offer them a medical treatment services. At the same time, the other market which is looking for a Ayurveda treatment, we give them an Ayurveda services. And with these two offerings that we have today, there are other offerings that we can also club to it. So during this pandemic, the entire industry has brainstormed and come up with a program, with a product that we can offer to international market at a different categories. Right? We have segmented the market and give them a better services. So these are two different verticals that we have now emerged rather than only focusing on medical tourism. So for a survival, the industry has, again, as I mentioned, there has been a lot of demand for supplying of Ayurveda medicines, which boost the immunization system, There has been demand for telemedicines, which we have highlighted, and we have started doing it. Though there are some of the countries which has a restriction, but majority of the countries have opted for our teleconsultation offer services, and we were successfully able to give them a telephonic consultation, and this is now being a new normal in the industries. Otherwise, when we initially used to talk about telemedicines, people used to say, "No, telemedicine is not the one people would want because touch is important in healthcare." But with this COVID, the new technology, now people has realized that even telemedicines can help. So, couple of initiatives that has come during this pandemic for us.
Beautiful. Vineet, here in the last stage, so I think I'll ask the question that I asked at the end of the show, and let me start with Shashank. Shashank, again in the content, media, entertainment piece, while the creation of content was halted in the last 5 months, consumption continued to peak of existing or old content, and but the revenues not necessarily grew, right? When do you see the Indian economy really blossoming? We know in the next 3 months, as I said, IPL and Diwali are happening, so we will see a temporary revival of the economy. The sentiment and mood may change for the positive. But when do you see the Indian economy back in full blossom? 6 months, 12 months, 18 months?
Yeah, I'm being an entrepreneur. I'm focused more on like 5 to 10 years of plan rather than actually focusing on 6 months. I mean, 6 months, yes, economy is going to open, but if you look at the opportunity, I think this pandemic is a very good opportunity for India, and India should actually, if you look at the world, actually, like I've dealt with a lot of reside in US and India, and I've seen there's a huge demand for an alternative to China, and you have seen in all the countries that people are looking across the globe looking for some alternative to China, and India can be that powerhouse which can actually be alternative to China. So government should create policies which can actually take advantage of this in short term, like in the next 6 to 12 months. That
in a short window.
Yeah, within that short window. Because if you don't do that, you're going to miss that opportunity. Then things will be back to normal.
I'm fully with you. I'm fully with you.
When you guys were talking about like the second stimulus or the third stimulus, it should be totally focused on that. Can we grab this opportunity? Can we actually support the local MSMEs and local entrepreneurs that whatever the demand from China was, can be replicated back to us? Invest in a lot of logistics because that matters a lot on making sure. I would even urge the industry leaders like big companies in India that they should support local entrepreneurs. They should actually help them actually when they are sourcing products from China or something. Let's source it locally, or if you cannot source it locally, let's start the step where you can actually start helping local entrepreneurs to create those small industries which can support the big industries.
Okay, Sonali Ramaiah, your quick comments. Economic revival of Indian economy, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. What is the time period you envisage?
I think it should take minimum of, I think the fourth quarter of 21 should be the time where we can actually expect the pre-COVID kind of situation, a little parallel to that. And yes, as Shashank rightly said, I think this Atmanirbhar Bharat sentiment needs to grow. Wherein manufacturing needs to be totally boosted, and we should be manufacturing everything that has been that is being imported from the neighboring countries like China. And I think that there should be a lot of.
You're saying 6 months. Sunil Madikatra. 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. When will the Indian economy be in full bloom?
Indian economy can be in full bloom. In my opinion, it'll be only after 18 months, provided there are certain measures taken right now for the next few more months. During the last 3 months, we didn't face a single adversary. Actually, we saw multiple adversaries through our neighbors as well. So during that time, Atmanirbhar and Made in India has literally boomed, and everyone started connecting the industry business to emotions as well. But how long is it going to sustain is a question. So if that is going to be a base, then we can see a exponential growth in the Indian economy, because India being a software and services provider till date will also become a hub for product provider to the world.
Amit Sharma?
I am very optimistic about this growth because see, India in the medical supply, we are number 2 in PPE kit supplying. We have done a lot of healthcare devices which we have started supplying, N95 masks. So lot of exports that has started happening, and thus I see this next 12 months is what time frame the Indian economy should be in a normal phase.
Okay.
Okay. Dr. Kamal Singh?
Yeah, so I also have a similar sentiment, but bouncing back as an example for the world to follow. Slowly but surely, as our fundamentals are very strong, we have a huge market, we have survived in the past, and the same will happen again. All of us are responsible for this revival.
You're basically saying Indian entrepreneurs are resilient. We've done it before and we'll be able to do it now. That I believe in. What I'm wanting to know is
absolutely
time period, Dr. Kamal Singh. 6 months, 12 months, 18.
Absolutely.
We know we are resilient. We know Indian economy is fundamentally strong.
Yeah.
How many months?
So I would say first week.
So there is a bandwidth issue.
Quarter of 2021, we will be able to get in.
I'd say 12-month view is what Dr. Kamal Singh is taking. Nitesh Jain, you have the last laugh. What is your prognosis for the Indian economy going forward?
15 to 18 months, and I think all these steps which government has announced on Atmanirbhar, for example, defense, that single sector can just flip the chart, right? It can just go in a different direction, just one sector. And I think the steps are all in the right direction, but I would say 15 to 18 months, we should be rocking.
Okay, on that note, I'd like to thank everyone. Sure, Anurag, thank you so much for all those questions. I hope everyone enjoyed being on this platform.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.